The Alice Stewart Show on 96.5 The Voice.
Big story yesterday out of the White House. President Obama taking yet again executive action, this time to expand the student loan program for students who are suffering from high student loan debt. And here to talk more about that, I'm joined with an expert on this story that knows all too well just about how this will affect students. And what happened yesterday is the president made this announcement, and it would be new executive steps to help Americans that are struggling to pay off their debt. And he put his support behind Senate Democratic legislation that would, the key component would be to help the students who are facing tremendous debt. And this came down yesterday in a way to ease student borrowers' debt loads by capping repayments at 10% of their monthly income. Here to talk more about that, I'm joined with Steve Scanlon. He is a financial strategist and co-founder of Guardvest. He joins us on the Royal Overhead Door Hotline. Steve, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us. Now, yet again, the president has gone around Congress and issued an executive action here, but the key to this, it is what he calls the pay-as-you-earn program. What are some of the key components of this for students?
Basically, what he's saying is that you are going to be relieved of any burden after you've paid for 20 years. And essentially, it could lower, they're going to refinance your debt so that it doesn't become any more than 10% of what you're earning at any given time. So those are the two components that we're clear on, at least at this moment.
And there was also some changes in when the start dates. Originally, the program, it's available to those who start borrowing off after October 2007. So when the people affected by this, that also has expanded.
Yeah, it has. There's somewhere around another 5 million people that will be brought into this program that will be helped out according to the president's plan from 07 until the last dollar you borrowed being at the end of 2011.
And what about this? You'd mentioned it will relieve the debt burden after 20 years. Who pays for it then?
Well, the taxpayers do, and that's I think what is really, really something that's amazing about this. What the president said yesterday is, this is a very straightforward bill, and there is nothing about this that is straightforward. In fact, his own educational secretary said that we're not exactly sure how much this is going to cost, but we'll figure this out on the back end. So this debt doesn't go away. Debt never goes away. And interestingly, and the irony around this is that every college kid getting out now has at least had one finance course that's told them that there's no such thing as a free lunch, and that is very apparent here.
And there are some critics of this, needless to say, given the way he has gone about doing this, and specifically Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell saying that one of the big concerns with this is that it does nothing to actually make college more affordable and reduce the amount of money students have to borrow in the first place.
It's 100% right. That really is at the heart of the matter. College costs have tripled in the past 25 years. And so, I borrowed every dollar I possibly could to pay my way through college. So I empathize with these kids getting out and having this burden over their heads. By the same token, this generation that's coming out of college is going to know more about debt than probably any generation before them because we have so much of it. So, it's at the heart of the matter is college expenses are significantly higher than they've been ever, and you've got to find a way to help them, but you can't just continue to say we don't know how much this is going to cost, but this is what we're going to do right now. That just doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely. And one other thing, my guest Stephen Scanlon, co-founder of Guardvest, not addressing the actual cost of college education. What he has done is asking the Treasury and Education Department to work with major tax preparers, including H&R Block and others, to make them aware about these tuition tax credits. Explain that.
Well, and he's also basically what he's trying to do is go back, and this is his phone and pen, where he's going to go back and try to offer financial incentives for them to educate their constituencies, their borrowers, to understand what their best opportunities are, and to go back and try to go to Sally Mae and people like that and offer them, again, financial incentives that are undefined to help them, make this a little bit more attractive to these big corporations. And his whole point is that these companies need to help educators and not just worry about their payments.
So I guess the bottom line is, what does this mean financially for a college student that is struggling with debt?
Well, if you're a college kid, ultimately what he hasn't addressed is how simple is it. There's an awful lot of people that still don't even know how they can go get a student loan, right? And there's not a lot of education around just the individual trying to figure out where all the opportunities are, and that's what he's trying to address. but it doesn't specifically tell you what exactly happens. I mean, there's a lot of specifics, in my view, about this potential policy that are still out there. And again, I go back to what Secretary Duncan says, that, we'll just figure this out in the back end. And I don't know how you can go in and make this kind of sweeping policy, recommendation and not know all the answers to all the questions that are absolutely going to come out of this.
Well, there will certainly be many more questions as this unfolds. Steve Scanlon, financial strategist and co-founder of Guardvest. Steve, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And we will have more on this throughout the program.